guys, welcome to today's video. I am so excited to film today's video. I have had these products sitting for over a month, but basically what I'm going to be doing today is a full face of drugstore beauty, and I've called this Drugstore Virgin because I haven't used drugstore makeup in over a decade. It's been quite a while. I'm going to get into the reasons why while I'm doing my makeup, but here is my box of goodies from Ulta. I got quite a haul, and I did want to give myself a budget for this project. I call it a project because it might become a series. If you guys want to see another one, let me know. But I did want to give myself a budget. It started at $50 and I just couldn't make it happen, so it went to $60. I was really trying to keep reviews of these products either on Ulta's website or from other YouTubers in the back of my head. So all of these are pretty highly rated. Also, you guys are going to see duplicates of some brands, and that's because these brands were having buy one get one half offs at the time. I did also use a 20% off of one item coupon, and my total was at $59.63, so a full face under $60. I'm going to go ahead and prep my lids. I'm going to be using BH Studio Pro Concealer, Total Coverage Concealer, and this is in the shade 102. I did buy these items online, so some of the shades were kind of hard to match. I did use YouTube videos to kind of figure out what would be the best match for me. And I am going to keep this sticky. I'm not going to set it with powder just because I want to see what these shadows can really do. I completely forgot. I wanted to use this first. This is from Catrice. This is the Prime and Fine Illuminating Dewy Glow Fixing Spray. A lot of people love this. I think I'm going to use it to set my makeup and then also to prime my skin. I did not get a primer for this because it didn't fit into my budget. It has almost like a chemical smell to it, like there's a chemical undertone that they try to cover up with perfume. But we'll see how that does on the skin. It is looking pretty dewy so far. As far as my shadows today, I chose this from Wet n Wild. This is the Coloricon Rosé in the Air. There are a few different options, but I quickly figured out why I was drawn to this one. It's because it is a total dupe for Modern Renaissance, which I'm currently panning. So you guys are gonna see a lot of these kind of color stories. I'll show you. They look exactly alike. You can't even tell the difference. They have exactly the same colors in there. So I'm going to try to change it up as much as possible because I am going to be showing this a lot on my channel. I have a video collab that I am doing with another YouTuber later on in the week using Modern Renaissance. So we're going to try to keep it as different as possible. I think I'm going to go for something pretty bright today, and I'm going to start with the orange shade in this palette. I'm going to tell you guys right off the bat, I filmed this already yesterday, and now I'm refilming it because A, I wasn't really happy with it, and then B, it wouldn't transfer from my camera to what I use to edit. When I say camera, I mean my phone. So I guess that was a sign. And I am using a Sigma blending brush, your E25. And I'm going pretty light with these colors just because I have a tacky base. You can always build, you can't take away. They do have quite a bit of kickback, so does Modern Renaissance, but we'll see how similar these formulas are. I'm not too worried about the edges. I'm going to be cleaning it up with a makeup wipe. Kind of how I usually do unless I'm using tape or something like that. And I'm just building that up a little bit more. Same brush, and I'm going to go in with the more red shade. These don't really have shade names on them. They do have transition stamped in there, and then on the back it gives you a little graph of when and where to put the different shadows, which I think is really cool, especially if you're a beginner. I keep wanting to call this shade Red Ochre because that is what it is a dupe for from Modern Renaissance. And I'm just stamping this on before I blend it out. I don't really wear red shadow very much. The only one that I wear quite frequently is from MAC. It's a single that I buy. It's called Coppering, and it's a little bit more shimmery, but it is red, and I love that shade. And then I'm just blending the orange and the red together. I'm gonna go in with that hot pink color next on a Sigma E55. It's an eye shading brush. And I'm gonna put this on the outer portion of my lid and then work it into the V. So as far as why I chose to do this video, it's been a minute since I've used any drugstore makeup, and it's not because I can really afford not to. Basically, when I was in my teens, I had decided to go cruelty-free. It was right around the time that I discovered Lush. That's really what got me into being cruelty-free and really doing my research and learning about what brands were cruelty-free. And at the time, there really weren't many options at the drugstore for what was cruelty-free. And at this time, when I went to go work with Lush, I also worked right across from Sephora, so that really got me into that whole world. And I just kind of never looked back. But I feel like a lot of drugstore brands, or the affordable beauty, whatever you want to call it, budget beauty, I feel like a lot of them have really stepped up and really changed the game, especially in the last decade. They really have begun to compete with these higher priced brands, hence the reason why we have so many dupes going around. I got this idea before I even started my channel. I just thought it would be a fun way to reintroduce myself to drugstore beauty, and I was overwhelmed. Like, there were so many choices when I went to go shop. There were so many different things I wanted, and I asked you guys on both my Facebook and my Instagram. I had asked what were like the best options, and I got some good ones. Some of these are like things that you guys picked. The NYX liner was the one that was most requested, or the one I got the most feedback on. Everyone seems to really love that. And I'm just adding just a touch more of that red into my crease, and then I'm gonna blend it all together. Before going in with a little bit of shimmer, I'm just gonna take a little bit more of that pink shade on my pinky and then stamp it onto my lid. Okay, next I'm gonna go in with this light gold shimmery shade. I'm gonna presume that it will work best wet. So I have my Catrice Prime and Fine. I wanna keep this sticking to the plan. I'm not gonna pull out my Fix Plus or anything. Let's try it dry first and just see what it does. I am using Modern Renaissance just for the mirror because this other little one does not have a mirror. Dry. Let's try it wet. I like this so far. It really did give my skin like a nice healthy glow. It actually feels a little bit tacky, which is good because I didn't get a regular primer. Let's see how long it takes me to accidentally dip into this one. I like it. I think they performed really well, not too much different from the Modern Renaissance. So if you want to save some money, I think this was like $5 and this is $42. I do love ABH. I am not like bashing them or anything, but these worked pretty well. Happy with this so far. I'm gonna go ahead and move on to my base. Next up, we're gonna be using this from Wet n Wild, and right off the bat, this packaging looks like it is for someone who is 8, but what matters is how the product performs inside. And I did remember reading that this has some coconut kind of infusion in it. It's the Mega Cushion Foundation with an SPF of 15. And what you get, like I said, I had to do this yesterday, so this is a repeat, so this might look a little bit dirty. Actually, it's not too bad. It comes with the little sponge. I kind of wish there was a mirror here. There's nothing, it's just like a tin. But it comes with like a little sponge, and then when you open this, you get your foundation inside. I did do half my face with this the other day and then half my face with this, and I liked it with the sponge better, so we're not gonna use that. This actually smells pretty good. Not like coconut, there's definitely like a fragrance in it, but it's pretty light. And I think it is a good color match. I got this in the shade Light Ivory. One of the first things I remember buying from the drugstore was a CoverGirl foundation. And I remember I didn't need foundation at the time. I think it was like 12. CoverGirl is now cruelty free, so yay. But anyway, I remember having this little bottle of foundation. It was in a glass container and not really knowing what to do with it. I think I tried to apply it with a cotton ball the first time, which didn't go so well. I'm gonna put a little bit on my neck. I like the coverage of this. It has like a medium coverage, I'd say. Like you can still see, I have a vein here that's blue that you can see. You can also see my veins right around here. But it seems to be pretty dewy so far, or it may just be the spray that I put underneath. Just want a little bit more coverage there. I'm used to using a primer, so right now I am noticing you can see my pores and some texture right in here that you usually cannot see once I prime my skin and use a foundation. That is looking a little bit accentuated. Going back in with this from BH. And what I'm gonna use to set my eyes today, I didn't get like a loose setting powder. I thought I would be able to use this because it has like a highlight shade and a bronzer shade. This is from Wet n Wild as well. It's the Mega Glow Contouring Palette in Dulce de Leche. I saw this all over YouTube. It was actually out for a really long time and it's really big. Like you can see my hand versus the palette there. Just so you guys know, I'm gonna be using that lighter shade to set my under eye. I'm going kind of light with this one. Just a little bit there. And I got some redness on my forehead. I need a little more. I do like this squeezy tube as opposed to a wand because then you can put it on a palette or something like that that doesn't have the wand that like spreads bacteria every time. I say that while I'm putting it on my hand, but I have washed my hands. So I actually have really fond memories of drugstore makeup. My grandfather, who I call Pap, who is definitely one of the greatest influences of my life. He unfortunately passed away a couple years ago. But he also, just a really great man, but he also spoiled the hell out of me. And every time I went over there on the weekend, he would give me 20 bucks. And I could do whatever I wanted with that $20. And sometimes we would go to the mall, but this was really before there was like a Sephora, before there was like Ultas everywhere or anything. There was really just drugstore counters. So my favorite place to go was either like Target or CVS. And I would always pick out makeup. And this man was such a saint. He was so patient. And I would take forever to figure out like what I could get with my $20. I always try to get the most bang for my buck, and I think that's the reason why I shop the way I do now. Like I have to kind of look at everything before I go in and buy it. Some of the things I remember purchasing, I remember one of the first makeup items I ever had, I was pretty young, was from Lip Smackers, and it was a like lip gloss, and it was like called Vanilla Frosting, and it had sparkles in it, and it smelled like buttercream. It smelled so good, and I wore that everywhere. If you guys have ever smelled the liquid lipsticks from Jouer, it's a total dupe for that scent. Like they smell exactly alike. I thought I was so cool with my little lip gloss. And then I also remember having from Milani, I had like this little bright blue eyeshadow single. I don't remember the name of it, but it was like an aqua color, and I would wear that like underneath my eyes quite a bit, and then I would also wear it as liner sometimes. It was one of my favorite things. So yeah, definitely some very fond memories of drugstore makeup and just being young and feeling like $20 was like hitting the lottery. I'm gonna go in with this next from Essence. It's the Make Me Brow in Brownie Brows. I think there was 3 different shades of this, not a huge selection, but it was like $2, $3 right in there. And I've been really liking wand type brow products lately. I've been using the one from Milk quite frequently. I just think it looks so natural, not quite drawn on. I still like my dip brow, but I still like to have a natural option. This feels a little bit scratchy. Like if I had dry skin, it would be flaking it up. And I do get dry in my brows sometimes. I'm liking that. I feel like it's holding the little hairs in place. I have a couple that like to shoot out. It's another reason why I chose this, because then I wouldn't have to worry about getting a clear brow gel and a pencil or a pomade. It would be like a 2-in-1. Next, while I still have some powder underneath my eyes, I'm going to go ahead and just smoke out my under eye a little bit. I didn't get an eyeliner. I just got like a top liquid eyeliner. I didn't get anything for my waterline, so I may deepen it up just a little bit, taking some of the red shade right at my lash line. And then I'm taking some of the orange. I find that too much pink underneath my eyes makes me look a little sick. I try to avoid that. Doesn't always work so well for me. I'm going to kick off whatever extra powder was there. I'm liking this foundation so far. Before doing anything with my cheek, I'm going to go ahead and do my liner and then a little bit of mascara. This is the liquid liner I'm going to use today. It's from NYX. It is the matte liquid liner. Do you guys say NYX or NYX? I feel like I say both. I was just talking about this with my friend Jackie the other day. When I talk about the face awards, I kept saying NYX, but I say NYX when I'm referring to like certain products. I don't know. I feel like I go back and forth, but this just has like a little paintbrush kind of applicator. It's really thin. I haven't used anything like this in a long time. I tend to use pens. We're gonna see how this goes. I'm not gonna talk very much while I'm doing this. I'll probably just fast forward it because it's really hard to apply liner with one hand and while talking. Guys, that took me like 10 minutes. I like the finish of the eyeliner. It just took me a little while because I'm not used to that little thin tip. It's almost like the thinner the tip, the harder it is, because you have a little bit less control because it's kind of squiggly when you go to use it. Not 100% happy with that eyeliner, but we're gonna move on. So I'm gonna be using this mascara from Essence. It is the Lash Princess False Lash Effect. And I've heard some pretty good things about this one. A little bit clumpy because I think I got eyeliner on my lashes, but it definitely made my lashes look longer. If you do use this mascara, I would definitely recommend cleaning off the wand. Even on my bottom lash, it's getting really clumpy, and I definitely didn't get eyeliner there. Moving on to the rest of my face, I'm going to be going in with this bronzer from the Dulce de Leche palette from Wet n Wild. Definitely a lot of kickback with this one too. My bronzer collection is just growing. I have like 4 or 5 now that I am enjoying. I have a couple more like old ones, but those are the ones I've recently purchased. I just never used bronzer before. I kind of used blush like all over really heavily, and I still like heavy blush, I have a little pimply action going on. If you saw my Instagram story last night, I had tried out the Drunk Elephant Sakari Baby Facial, and I did really like it, but I feel like it's bringing some stuff up, and that's what I was nervous about, because when I used the TLC for Bruce Glycolic Night serum, it did the same thing, but like really bad, and it was for like 3 weeks. I may just be sensitive to something in it. I'm gonna try a couple more times though. Get my money's worth. It was just like a mini size, so I'll probably just finish it up. And if I like it, I'll repurchase it. Too much, too much. I got bangs anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Moving on to blush. I saw this one and I had to have it. I also saw a YouTuber speaking about it. I think it was Taylor or the Tayla. This is LA Girl Just Blushing, and I just thought the packaging was so cute. This is in the color Just Playful, and it's like a dusty rose is what I would call that. Definitely suitable for everyday wear. Great for fall. This is pretty pigmented. Doesn't smell like anything. Next up from LA Girl as well, I have a strobe powder, strobe light strobing powder. I'm going to be using this as a highlighter. This is in the shade 90 Watt. They had so many options for this. It was like 10 or 12, so you guys can see. It has a pink undertone or a little bit of a pink shift to it. I thought it would go well with the eye shades that I picked. And not only am I going to use it here, I'll probably use it as an inner corner highlight as well. Hair's getting in the way. Alright, so this looks like more of a shimmer than it does like a wet highlighter. I just got it a little bit too low. I don't know how I feel about that. And then on a Sigma pencil brush, it's an E30. I'm gonna spray some more of that Prime and Fine and get some of this on my inner corner. Looks pretty on the inner corner. I bet it would also look really pretty on the lid. For doing my lips, I'm going to spray this over top as a setting spray. I still don't know what that reminds me of. There's definitely like a chemical undertone. It doesn't taste good either. Okay, and final product, also from NYX. This is one of the liquid suedes, and it is in the color Soft Spoken. I thought that would be a perfect shade for me. This is definitely like my kind of color vibes in general, but I can't tell you how many times I've been accused of being soft-spoken, like all my life. If I had a nickel for every time I heard speak up or speak louder, I'd have 5,266 nickels. I like that shade a lot. And who knew? Here I am on YouTube. Like, I could never do this if it was in front of an actual crowd. I would be absolutely terrified. It's so different when it's like in your room. I'm in my bedroom filming, mine and my husband's bedroom. How long have I had this on my hand? I'm sure you guys have noticed it. And here is the completed look. Overall, I'm really happy with this look. I am definitely going to be saving some money, I think, from here on now. If you guys want this to be a series, like I said, go ahead and let me know below. I already have a couple items on my wish list. Even just from this last time when I was picking out these items, there are so many new goodies. I feel like I opened up a whole new world. Let me know below if you guys have tried any of these products. I'm going to give you my final thoughts and opinions on each one. Starting with the base, the Wet n Wild Cushion Foundation. I really like this. The only thing that I have noticed once I looked closer in the mirror, it is accentuating some pores and texture right here. I'm going to have to try it with a primer because I am used to doing that. I don't have too bad of texture right there. My pores aren't all that big. So if something is accentuating it, I kind of think that's the telling of the foundation. But overall, I really like the coverage. I like, again, I'm going to have to see how it wears throughout the day, but I thought it was a good color match for me. And I enjoyed just applying it. The cushion foundation feels really nice. As far as this concealer, it does look a little bit dry under my eyes. I felt like it was a good color match, but it's looking a tiny bit dry. You can see some fine lines. I'm going to have to try setting it with like my normal loose setting powder rather than the one from Wet n Wild. I'm going to have to see how it looks. But I do like the coverage it gave, especially on my face. It wasn't too much. It doesn't look like too heavy on my skin, and I am liking that. It blended out really easily. So I think I'm going to be trying this out a little bit more in future videos. The Dulce de Leche from Wet n Wild was quite nice too. I like the tone of this bronzer. It blended out easily. It doesn't look patchy. This one, the highlight, I'm going to have to try that one out a little bit more. I think it did okay under my eyes, but like I said, it looks a little bit dry, so I'm going to have to try it out on its own as well. Maybe right along my contour or something like that, but we'll see. I thought it was a really good value though, especially for this pan size. And this is a total dupe for Modern Renaissance. Like I said, if you want to spend $5 versus $42, especially if you're a beginner, I think it's really helpful that it has all of that listed on the back. It tells you exactly what steps to put them, and I think that's really nice. And you can get some cool and warm tones in here. You have a little bit larger for the transition shades, which I think is nice. And overall, I really enjoyed this palette. I think I will actually try. I think this one was 104, and I would actually pick up another one of these too. I think it would be really nice for travel. As far as these guys, this one is just okay in my book. I didn't really love it as a highlight shade. I think it kind of spread a little bit too. It's a little bit further down than I put it, and it looks a little bit too, I don't know, it's not like chunky glitter, but I definitely can see the glitter particles in it or the shimmer particles in it, and I think it accentuates some of those fine lines there. Didn't love it, but I think I will definitely like it on the top of my lid or even like the inner corner. This one I really did like though, the LA Girl Just Blushing little blush here, the Just Playful. Really enjoyed this one. I liked the color there, and I think it blended out okay. Blush tends to be what fades on me the fastest. I have Lucy coming in here and saying hello, but I feel like blush is what tends to fade the fastest on me, so we'll have to see how it wears throughout the day. But for now, I do really like this one. And then for these guys, this is the Essence Make Me Brow. I did really like this one. I think it's maybe just a little bit too dark for me, but I did like how it went on, and you really can't beat the price. This from NYX, the matte eyeliner. Total operator error. I think that was just me not used to working with like a little flimsy tip, but I do like the pigment of it. It is black, it is matte, and I did enjoy this. I'm gonna have to just play with it a little bit more, get a little bit more practice. And then from Essence, the Lash Princess False Lash Effect. I really just like the bottle of this one. I'm gonna have to try this again, maybe even without shadow, and see how long it really makes my lashes. It did get a little bit clumpy, especially on the bottom and then on the outer corners. But like I said, you just really need to clean off that wand before you use it, and I didn't know that going into it. And then this might be the star of the show. I really did like this from Catrice. It's the Prime and Fine Dewy Glow Fixing Spray. The only thing I didn't really love is the scent, but it didn't stick around. I do feel like it went underneath my makeup very nice. It gave like a nice dewy glow, and it looks like it's setting my makeup just fine. The mist on here is really fine, so it's not like gonna look blotchy or anything like that on my skin. Really enjoying this one. I will definitely be continuing to use this. Alright guys, thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the bell for notifications to see me. Please go ahead and let me know below if you want to see a second installment of Drugstore Virgin. I would love to buy for it again. I really enjoyed it the first time. Also, let me know if you've tried any of these products or what your favorite products are from the drugstore. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you, and I will see you soon.